Hello and welcome back to Lewis the Tech Guy. I'm Lewis the Tech Guy. This is our third video in the series where we're creating this simple chat app. So if you haven't seen the first two videos, please go back to the channel and look them up. If not, you're going to be completely lost. Okay, so for today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to create the chat message. So essentially, we're going to accept the data that's here and then put it in its own little bubble. Okay, I think I have it on my editor still, so I was playing around with it before we started, and so this is what we're going for, something like this. Okay, all right, so without much further ado, let's get rolling. Okay, so in our UI folder, I went in there and I did new Dart file, and I created a file called chat message. Go ahead and ignore the chat screen error for now. We're gonna fix that soon enough. So in here, the first thing I did was I imported our package Flutter material.dart. All right. So now let's go ahead and create our class of chat message. Here we go, and this is going to be a stateless widget. Oh, wrong curly braces. And right off the bat, we have our squiggly lines yelling at us because we're missing our override. Remember, everything is a widget, so this needs to be a widget. All right, so before I continue, I want to create a string that is going to hold our text, because everything here is a text, right? So why is this yelling at me? It must be initialized. All right, we are going to initialize this. So let's create our constructor, and in our constructor we're going to use our text variable, this.text. Okay, so if you don't know what's going on, essentially what we're doing is when we're creating it so that when someone calls this chat message class, they have this.text value that needs to be passed through it. So if I were to come down here and say, what I do wrong? Okay. So why is that doing that? All right. So if I'm supposed to go, if I'm to come down here and say chat, let's say chat message, and call it chat equals new chat message. See right here where it says string text, it is expecting a text. So I would do text, and then I'd give it the value of text, right? So money, I don't know. All right, and that is a valid constructor. Okay, and we'll see. We're going to use that in a few, so bear with me. All right, so we're going to create our widget. Let's come back here, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a container, and this container is going to have some margins, right? And the margins are going to be edge insets that symmetric, and they're going to be vertical. And in case you don't know, I've already played around with this, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. We have a child of, what's going on here? Child of row, and the row is going to have a cross-axis alignment, and we're going to do cross-axis alignment start. Okay. Underneath that, we're going to, the row is going to have some children. And this is where we're going to put the stuff. Ready? So we're going to put our container. The first thing we're going to build here is, I'm going to put some comment here, end of container. That way I know where I'm at. Because if you haven't noticed, this stuff gets really busy really fast. So in our container, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our circular avatar. So if we come back to our project, this little thing right here is what we're going for. Okay. So let's give it some space. And the space is going to be set So we're only going to give a space on the right hand side because that's what we're worried about right now. And the child's going to be a circular avatar. And what are we going to put in the circular avatar? We're going to give it a child, and the child's going to be text. And for now, I'm going to use a spaceholder of name. And we're going to change that in a second to a more permanent variable. Okay, so that's our avatar, right? That's our circular avatar that we have created. Now we're going to stay within our widget here, our row widget of children, and underneath here we're going to create a column. So this is where we're going to store all of our text. Oops, I forgot to / end of column. All right. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to say cross-axis alignment. Oh, it was right there. Start. And the children, I'm going to have some children here. And the first is going to be text. So the top part of it is going to be text. And again, I'm going to put name. And this time I'm going to style it. And the style is going to be theme, the theme of the app. So it'll be context dot text theme dot subhead. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put another container in here. And in this container, I'm going to put in the comment end of text container. So in here, we're going to grab the value. First, we're going to give it some space. Edge insets dot only, I'm going to say top, and we're going to give it a space of 5.0 just to give it some space on the margins. And the child is going to be text. Now, what text, you ask? Is going to be the text that we received from up above. So this text right here is this text right here. All right. So that is our chat message class set up. All right. So this video is already long enough. In the next video, we're going to take this class and we're going to apply it to our chat's screen. Okay. I already went ahead and did that. So if I hit play, this is still working, or at least it should be working. There we go. So notice that says name here, and that is because if I come over here, let's do this. Let's do final string name equals Lewis. And you can change that however you want. So over here, I'm going to change this to, for my circular avatar, we're going to use an array, and we're going to change it to name, and we're going to grab the first letter of the name. So let's save that and see what that does. Oh, look at that. It changes the name. And then over here, we're going to change this to name. Okay. And if I come over here, and there you go, it's working nicely. Now, I want to keep this private. I know a lot of people like to do that too. So I'm going to come over here and keep this private. And same story over here. Keeping it all private. And if I hit Control Save, nothing, it should be broken. Okay, so again, if you do this at home right now, you'll notice it's not working because we haven't added it here. So in the next episode, we're going to add it to our chat screen.dart. All right, thank you for watching. Until next time.